The last place I wanted to be was Frostnipistan.
This one's wife. Gimme the mic. Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor. You'll recall that last September, yes, seems only like yesterday, doesn't it? But it was back in September of last year that this one's wife suffered a microphone mishap on stage at Kevin Costner's fundraiser. She was introduced as a special guest at the 1805 live event at his $26 million polo field. We all know that she was only there as a consequence of the WME agency, of whom Costner is a client, basically saying to Costner, "We've got another client, would you do a favour and allow her to come on stage at your event?" Thus, this one's wife only got on there as a consequence of being a hanger-on. She wasn't wanted. Costner's face told us everything we needed to know about what he thought about her. And of course, it also led to this one's wife putting it about that she was going to be in the starring role in Bodyguard 2. Undoubtedly, Kevin Costner would be muttering under his breath over my dead body. But what caused the greatest hilarity was the fact that when she walked on stage, she reached for the microphone to take it away from the female host. This is demonstrative of this one's wife's mentality, whereby she just assumed that she would be there to speak. Why? After all, what has she got to say that anybody wants to hear? What meaningful observations does she actually have? She has none. Let's analyse her credentials for a moment. She was an actress, not a particularly well-known or successful one. She ran a blog, not a particularly well-known or successful one. Beyond that, what did she have? Has she got training in certain things that the world needs to know about? Does she have groundbreaking observations to share with the world about quantum physics? Does she have observations that would help people in business as a consequence of undertaking a degree in business administration? Is she somebody that has built up a portfolio of successful companies over the last 30 years and thus is able to share her experience in that regard to guide potential entrepreneurs? No, she has none of those things. Is she a talented writer or artist that can share perhaps her creative process and some of the pitfalls that exist with regard to getting your work out there? No, because she's not a successful writer or artist. Thus, she actually has nothing to offer, but she thinks that she has something to offer because she's this one's wife. This also shows in relation to when she does speak, it's bland, boring and beige. Fridge magnet platitudes, quotations taken from other people, and trots out things which, as I often say, would send a glass eye to sleep. Rather than recognise her limitations and get somebody that can actually write speeches, and so she can utilise that and at least be interesting and entertain the audience, even though she doesn't necessarily speak from a position of authority, she doesn't do that. Instead, she believes that whatever she says will fascinate people. She believes that whatever she trots out, people will lap up and think is wonderful. But it's to the contrary. It is interesting, really, in the world, how often we have foisted upon us people that are famous, but they have no expertise. Yes, we know that they are a fantastic actor or actress. Yes, they're a talented footballer. But do they really have anything to share about humanitarianism or the ins and outs of building a business? No, they don't. And yet, so often, just because they're well known, they attend certain events and speak and have nothing really meaningful to add. Indeed, there are plenty of other people you would be much better served from hearing from actual experts in their field, people who have achieved, but invariably they may not be heard of, and therefore they will be seen as less of a draw. With this one's wife, not only is she boring and talent-free, but she's not particularly popular either. And therefore, it's only really under protest that you would involve her at an event, or of course, if she's paying. But at that event, she sought to steal the microphone away, driven by her narcissism because of her sense of entitlement, a lack of accountability for her behaviour, and her lack of boundary recognition. She believed that she was there to speak, that she ought to speak, and that she had something meaningful to share. And it was hilarious when it transpired that she wasn't going to be allowed to speak. It was a great moment from that lady holding onto the mic and sparing everyone from the catatonia-inducing sugary tones of this one's wife. Unsurprisingly, she's at it again, and it took place in a recent Nigeria tour. Let's roll the little bit of footage that shows this in action. Here it comes. The other lady is speaking, and this one's wife interrupts her, which is rude and shows her lack of boundary recognition. Rather than wait patiently for the microphone to be handed to her, like anybody else would do, you'll notice what this one's wife does. She gestures for the mic to be given to her. And you can see she's saying, "Give me the mic. Give me the mic." That demonstrates how rude she is. That she's waiting and she looks pointedly at the microphone, that she gestures to say, "Give it to me," and then looks less than pleased at the failure to do so straight away, that she has to repeat it twice to get it. And this, once again, exhibits the sense of entitlement of this one's wife. The fact that she deems it appropriate to interrupt somebody, she doesn't even think about it, she just does it. That she holds out her hand to say, "Give me that microphone," that she issues the instruction of "Give me the mic," that she looks less than impressed at the failure to do so straight away. Because she is the main draw in her world. It demonstrates again the lack of class that she exhibits, because, as I've explained, on many occasions, her narcissism simply isn't up to the job of harnessing the appropriate facade all of the time to cause her to behave in an appropriate fashion. These glitches, if you will, of shoving Harry out of the way, getting in front of Harry, elbowing a person to one side, refusing to move so Harry can't get in a photograph properly, muscling her way to ensure that she's at the centre of photographs, talking over people, trying to grab the mic, and this time demanding the mic, are all demonstrative of the way that she has to put herself at the centre of things because it's driven by her narcissism. And the result is, you see time and time again, that she comes across as rude and ill-mannered. Many people will say it's basic behaviour, that she's crass and repugnant in the way that she conducts herself. And they may wonder why it happens. It's simply because her narcissism drives her to behave this way in order to enable her to get the control and fuel that she needs as a narcissist. And because her facade management isn't the most effective in the world, we get treated to these repeated instances of her interrupting people, maneuvering Harry around, elbowing people out of the way, inserting herself in the centre of matters, and declaring, "Gimme the mic." I'm HG Tudor. Thank you for watching.